Hey friends, Kenny Jahng here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully, this is going to be one of the most practical, tactical sessions that you'll have reviewed so far. This is a presentation where I'm going to share just a couple of productivity tools that have increased my game in terms of my workflow and output and collaboration. And hopefully, you'll take away at least one or two new tools that you'll discover through today's presentation. I'd also love your feedback afterwards of what else should go on this list, and are you actually geeking out, nerding out with any of the tools that we're going to review with today also. So the first one is Crisp. Crisp is a great application that takes care of Zoom life. We are spending so much time on Zoom these days and collaborating with people over the internet on video conferencing. The problem is that many times we're in work from home environments or in co-working spaces, Starbucks, etc., open office plans where you can't control the background noise. Noise canceling is the answer. Crisp allows you to do that. You install it onto your computer, and then it controls the noise canceling from the audio of your side inbound to the mic to the other side. The magic and superpower Crisp is that it does it the other way too. So even though that your coworkers or team members or someone on the other side doesn't have noise canceling technology, if they have a barking dog, if they've got trucks delivering stuff and backing up, making those beeping noises, if they got any other environmental noise on their side, you can turn on Crisp to reduce and remove the background noise of speakers on the other side of your video conference, basically inbound audio. This is one of those tools that's just a game changer once you install it. If you want to download it, here it is. Here's the QR code. Put up your camera to the actual QR code and you'll get a link to the website that you can explore further, download, and check it out. The next one is Cloud Drive Management. Now, I know all of us probably have multiple accounts on Google Drive, a personal one and one for work, or Dropbox, or Box, or even AWS files if you're working on the web and stuff. There's so many different cloud accounts out there that we have to use or come across in collaborating with other people. How do you do that in an effective, easy way? Well, there's software like Cloud Mounter that allows you to install it onto your computer, and then you can log into multiple accounts, even in a specific service. So you can have multiple Google Drive accounts, multiple Dropbox accounts, multiple OneDrive accounts, multiple any cloud account out there, and it just installs it on your computer as if it's a hard drive. Doesn't take up the space, doesn't download the files and syncs it and puts it on your hard drive. It keeps it into the cloud, but you can navigate, browse, and manipulate files as if it's a file on your hard drive. Complete game changer. Now, Cloud Mounter is for the Mac. There's another application that you can download, but first, here's the QR code for Cloud Mounter. And then if you have a PC, or if you want to try an alternative to Cloud Mounter on the Mac, there's another application called ODrive. ODrive does the same thing with a bunch of different cloud drive options out there. You definitely should try it out. I've personally used both. I personally like Cloud Mounter better, but ODrive has a great clean interface and works well on the Mac and PC as well. Here's the QR code to get ODrive, more details, and download that software there. Cloud drive management is something that doesn't need to be hassle or confusing anymore with these two options. The next one is password sharing. How many times have you shared a password with team members to get into some sort of resource or service, say like MailChimp or your email services? You might have one account that's shared across different departments, but the password changes. Sometimes the service itself forces a change for security purposes. Sometimes people forget the password, they trigger the password reset, and it changes. How do you chase down what the latest password is? If you have a program like LastPass, then all of your team members can share the password easily. And if someone needs to update the password, it automatically updates for everybody. If you need to share it with someone outside your team or outside your organization, say with a volunteer or a contractor, you can do that safely. They will not see the password, but they can still get access, and you can revoke it on demand. So you can give them temporary access and then revoke that access immediately whenever you want to on demand and cloud-based. works on your mobile phone, works on the desktop, it works everywhere you go. Now, here's the QR code that if you want to download LastPass, there is other password sharing services like Dashlane or 1Password also out there. I personally like LastPass. Next one is keyboard shortcuts. It seems mundane. It seems like it's so trivial, but you repetitively type the same thing over and over again, either on a daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly basis. I know you do. Whether it's answering the same FAQ type of question over and over again, or simple things like putting in your credit card number or your address or your shipping address or the church's address over and over again in different places. There's no reason for you to have all that time wasted every single time you do it. This time adds up. By defining keyboard shortcuts and starting to use this habit of a service like Rocket Typist, you'll save a minute here, 5 minutes there, over and over again. And I guarantee you, over time, you'll see that it saves 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours a week if you're able to employ it and max it out in terms of your productivity. Imagine if every week you had an extra hour or two, just a break for yourself. This is what Rocket Typist can do for you. Now, that's for Mac. Here is the actual download QR code that you can get the link to get there. If you're on a PC, or if you're on a Mac as well, but if you're on a PC in particular, there's another program called Type Expander that does the same exact thing, and you can download it at this QR code. Again, it's for Mac and PC. I personally like Rocket Typist for the Mac, but you can check Text Expander out as well. What's next? Group mass messaging. Most of the people think that text in church is actually just for group texting. Just let's officially send out 100 texts or something to the entire congregation. Text in church is actually, here's the confusion part. I honestly think most people don't know its superpower, and it's not just group texting. Text in church is a guest follow-up system, a platform. It's like MailChimp on steroids for email and texting. That's right. Text in church also manages email stuff. It doesn't just do texting. And you can go back and forth and provide automation workflow and sequences. And you can do it with small groups, with large groups, individuals, and you can manage the responses and replies as if you're managing an inbox, all in one place. Text in church is something that every church needs to check out because it's not just group texting. Here's the download QR code. And actually, for this specific link, I've gotten an exclusive bonus that you can actually get if you sign up for the trial through this link here. Okay, talking about messaging. What's the most important sentence that you can write in any outbound message? The one that's the most important one is your subject line. It might be a little bit depressing to start to think about if you're in your role, if you're writing emails that go out to email lists and all these other people, most email open rates are less than 50%, probably like 30%, 20%, 15%, or even less. And once you start to think about that, you're going to realize you're investing all this time and effort to craft the perfect email to send out to get the news out to the people, and yet the majority of people don't even see your work. It's as if it's wasted. The majority of your work is wasted. Kind of depressing. The subject line is the most critical line of copy that you can write, and that's why you need a tool like this. Reply.io gives you a subject line headline generator that uses optimized copywriting formulas that have higher response rates, higher call to actions, higher open rates, so that you can actually type in your subject of what you want to actually contain in the subject line. And then it will cycle through and give you all these suggestions for optimized ways to talk about it so that it's eye-catching and stands out in someone's inbox. This is just a powerful tool. Here is the QR code link to go to that site. You can test it out immediately and try it out for yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how it goes once you start using a subject line generator like this. Next one is managing your email inbox. There are two things in corporate life as a staffer that you probably dread as much as I do. And that is, one is meetings, death by meetings, and two, death by email. Maybe email is even the worst villain of it all. Your inbox, I'm sure, is not like it was in the olden days where we're just waiting for hours or days to get an email and it says, hey, you've got mail, right? It's no longer the days of AOL. It's actually the opposite. We don't want any more email. The reason why that you dread your inbox is because our email services don't give us the tools to manage them appropriately at scale. Boomerang for Gmail allows you to do several things that are required to get down to inbox zero. One of them is to future schedule, future send email so that it's delivered at the appropriate time for the recipient. So, for example, a great one is if you happen to be writing emails off hours, right? You can have it scheduled to be sent during office work hours. Or if you're on the weekend on Sunday and you find something wrong or broken at the church or something that needs to be flagged with staff, you can have it scheduled to send on Monday morning or Tuesday morning when people are at their desks ready to receive it, instead of sending it off immediately, then getting lost in the inbox, right? Buried somewhere and never seen. So future send is one. Second one is Boomerang, hence the name. It allows you to take an email that you received and not just store it in that inbox where it gets buried in your own inbox, but it allows you to send it off and return it to the top of your inbox when it's most appropriate. There's a couple of other functions that Boomerang for Gmail does. It's a great tool that you should really try out. Here's the QR code to download and try it out for yourself. Now, it is a paid service. However, people want free services on the internet. There happens to be another tool called Streak. Streak is actually a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. However, one of the core functionality is managing email inboxes, and they have almost all of the same functionality that Boomerang for Gmail has, and it fits right into the Google Gmail suite, and you could use it immediately to future send, to schedule stuff for a later date, to boomerang stuff back to your inbox. There's all these things that you can do with Streak. Here's the QR code to download Streak. Let me know how it goes once you start to hit inbox zero. It's exhilarating when you do that several days in a row. I promise you. Okay, 7 categories of productivity apps that will change how you work and free up more time. It's going to give you more margin, more breathing room, and it's actually going to help you work smarter with other teammates or even people outside of your organization. Just to review, we've got noise cancellation, a must for Zoom Life today, cloud drive management, to be able to collaborate with people across all different platforms that people have their own personal preferences for, password sharing, so you can collaborate with your team members and be able to access things when you need it. Keyboard shortcut applications, you're going to get rid of, I promise you, an hour to 2 hours at the minimum each week once you start adopting this software. Guest follow-up systems, where it's not just group texting one-to-many, but it's individual one-to-one. It's also automation, different workflows, reminders and triggers that can be sent to different staff members based on what happens. Text in church is just something that you definitely need to look into. And then the email subject line, the most important line of email that you can write today. Here's a tool that helps you optimize it and puts everything in your favor so that you can have increased open rates, which means a chance for increased reception of the message and increased engagement with the call to action that you're trying to put out there. Last one is slaying that inbox and getting to inbox zero with Boomerang or Streak. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is missing from this list? There must be productivity tools that you're using in your workflows that you love to use and that are upping your game. And what are the things that you found that are brand new to you here today? And let me know how it goes after you start using them. I'm Kenny Jahng. Here's the QR code to connect with me. I'd love for you to bring that feedback to me, and let's learn and grow together. Thank you so much for being with me today, and enjoy the rest of the sessions.